Hello and welcome back to the Helmet Head podcast. Now this week's podcast is going to be very much about the Helmet Head channel itself. That's the main channel to this entire podcast, and explaining a little bit why I've kind of split it the two ways that I've done and created this podcast channel as well. Because to sum it up, it's like the whole point of the podcast is to talk about all the things that are, say, trending in the bike world, the information I get from the press releases, as well as giving vlogging sort of tips, kit and stuff that I use, and obviously and sort of also, I've got to add this as well, interviewing other YouTubers and people in this niche. But most of all, to be about all the things I probably wouldn't talk about so much on the main channel as well. And this is an exact example in today's podcast, because I want to talk about the craziness of the last couple of months. Now, one of the things, if you're new here, you might not know, I'm currently trying to ride the entire world on a motorcycle. Now I've got a pretty little clip that I've made that goes on the main videos when we're doing the world trip. So I'm going to play that to hopefully explain exactly what I'm trying to achieve there.
My goal is to prove that you can ride the entire world by motorcycle, taking on each country leg by leg, aiming to store my bike in different locations while needing to fly home, work a full-time job, and of course look after my amazing family. This is my dream, this is my goal, this is my adventure, so let's go.
So a couple of months ago, I came back from doing the end of the fourth leg. It's flown by. This year has been absolutely mad. Now I set off, I think it was February, setting off to try and conquer the entire world by motorcycle, and I am massively proud, because one of the things about it is that I'm trying to self-fund it as much as possible, and I've been extremely lucky throughout and still am, and I'll explain even more in a minute. But so many people sending me PayPal payments, buying me coffee and helping me along my way, because the cost of doing a world adventure is absolutely crazy. And people will obviously see on the main channel about, obviously it's there, it's bang, it's done, this video after video. But obviously what I try to do is fund that. So it's partly why I've actually took 2 months off. But going back to that, it's just like people were helping me out by sending me PayPal payments, buying me coffees, and it's unbelievably helped. And it's been, the world trip up to now has been proper exciting. I mean, we've travelled the entire length of France so far on the main channel. We have seen my dad in the Pyrenees. We've gone over the mountains of the Pyrenees. We've gone to the north coast of Spain. The bike went wrong. We sort of limped it all the way to the north of Portugal, and then I've again been flying back and flying too for all these different legs. And then Lee from Ashworth Automotive, that's helping support my actual bike itself, brought back heavy duty parts to try to fix my bike. We couldn't get the tools that we needed to do it. We had to go to a garage. We got that fixed. And then I did a massive tour with Pink My Bike in North Portugal. It was like next level, exhaustingly awesome, but so much packed into that. And then the last leg that you would have seen is obviously me riding the length of Portugal using a famous road, the N2. And I've had different characters join me throughout the trip, and obviously you've got, my dad was there, you've got Alex, you've got Lee, like Ashworth, the man that owns Ashworth Automotive, the one that built my bike. And obviously you've got Paul, and Paul's joined me in quite a few legs. It's been absolutely crazy and nuts. Now, if you've not seen any of those episodes, there is a playlist over on the Helmet Head channel. If you don't know where that is, there's a link down in the description, or you can just put Helmet Head in YouTube search. It will come up as #1. And you click on playlists, you go to the world trip or world adventure, you click on that and it's all there, and you can watch this whole story unfold, because it has been and is my biggest challenge to date, and I still today am just winging this adventure and hoping that it works out. And it's telling a story that's going to go on for years, but I think it's going to get more and more crazy, nuts and emotional throughout this entire thing. So skipping forward to when I left my bike currently on this world trip. So a couple of months ago, I only got to Faro in Portugal, right down the south that is of Portugal, and I've put my bike into a Honda dealer that was supposed to be expecting me, and it was all arranged, but apparently they knew nothing about me turning up. So they've nicely agreed to store the bike. An absolutely fantastic dealership. And on top of that, I've asked them to obviously service the bike, change the tyre, and there's a few bits that need looking over as well to make sure it's ready for next time I fly out for the next leg. And I've recently, to keep everyone up to date, I've tried to keep sort of quiet in regards to emailing people until it's a few weeks before I'm about to go. So I've emailed them asking for a kind of like, what's the price for having all this work done, and where are we at, is it all been done, and these are the dates that I'm flying back, and this is when the time I'm aiming to pick the bike up, etc, 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 to make sure when I turn up everything should be in place. And the dealership, the guy that's dealing with it called Hugo is a super nice guy, has emailed back to saying it's in the region of €250. The tyre is still waiting to be delivered, but it is due in next week, so it should, if all goes according to plan, all the service and stuff's been done. They said they'd look at a few other bits. I'm hoping that they have, like one of my heated grips stopped working, my Oxford heated grips, but the bike's been through a lot of bad weather since I've installed them. So they're going to look at hopefully fixing that, and there's a few things that I want checking over and tightening up on the bike that I've noticed, the things that obviously all the pressure and the hard work and the high res the bike's going through, just to make sure it's tip top ready for the next leg. So hopefully when I arrive back it'll all be done. So just talking back to expenses, that's €250 on arrival. Now this is the other side for the next part of the next leg. I've got to go to Bristol Airport, that's 150 miles away from where I live. And the reason why Bristol and not one airport that's a lot closer is because it's the only airport near me, the closest airport, that will fly back from Gibraltar, because I'm going to fly out to Faro, I'm going to collect my bike, I'm doing the long way to Gibraltar, this is the next leg. I'm going to try and, it's completely winged in regards to what I'm planning on doing. I've got kind of a vision, like I always do with my videos, and where I want it to go and how I want this next story to be told. But I do generally just wing it. So I am going to be very much looking at the map going, that looks really cool, put a waypoint in and go and explore, because that's the way I love to travel. I hate over planning and coming up with every single detail, because when it goes wrong, and not just that, you put a lot of pressure yourself to make things happen. And by literally going, right, this is an example, I pull up to Faro, I collect the bike, it's all good. I've got a whole day of travelling from the moment I collect the bike. I look at the map, I go, right, I'm going to go here. This looks like mountainy, this looks cool. Google Maps pulls up a picture, that looks cool. Click on it and go. You've got all day. You don't have to make it there, but you've got all day, and you can get there in relevant time, and then you can capture the filming as you go and the story that it tells. And it's such a way to travel. It's such a very special way to travel, because you don't exactly know what's coming up. You're not over worrying about if you're on the best possible roads. You're not worried if you're going to be on the worst roads. You're not worried what's going to happen next, because you're discovering it as you go. And it's raw and it's there. And I love traveling like that. It's a real, it's how I do it. And it's how I've done it for a very long time. So as an example, that's what I'll be doing when I arrive. So yeah, I've got the cost of the travel, the 150 miles to the airport and back, plus the flight obviously there. This is the flights and things are all booked, by the way. That's all, everything on that basis is planned. The cost of the bike, and then I think that works out, it's a 6-day trip. So reality is I'm planning around 3 to 4 days of riding with, I want a whole day filming in Gibraltar, because I really want to discover what Gibraltar's about, because Gibraltar is, you know, is part of us, isn't it? It's part of the United Kingdom in its own way. It's got, you know, the pound and everything else. And I've never been, and I really want to take it in, because I'm going to have one day as an opportunity for the culture. And when I say I've been reached out by a good few people, what makes me smile so much when people reach out and go, I live in Gibraltar, I want to help you out, I'll show you places, because I love the local people, the knowledge, exploring, seeing it through their eyes, what they know is fantastic. So it should be an unbelievable series coming up. And of course there's some awesome stuff happening as well that I'm not going to tell you, because it's part of the story that I want to tell. We'll make it funny, awesome and next level. So that's literally about to happen for me. I'm like just under 2 weeks away, I think, now to when I fly out, and I can't wait. It's been a manic few months on the channel. It is non-stop, again, exactly how I like it, but it's been a nice break. So I just want to go back to the reason why I've taken a couple of months to go out and do the next leg, and it is really financial, because I need to slow down a little bit. I need to try and build up some money. My vision of trying to self-fund this adventure as much as possible is because I was going to be able to work my bum off during a small period of time and get some overtime shifts, put some money in the bank and pay for everything I want to pay for. Unfortunately, with everything that's going on currently here in the UK, from the industry I work in, we are constantly stopping us from doing any extra, we would call it rest day work ban, it's strikes, and it's all going on. So I'm losing money, I'm not earning extra money, and to be quite honest, I'm struggling to find the money, and I don't want to put myself in debt. The world trip, with everything it cost me to get it done, with everything that's happened, it's about, I've said pretty much this before, about £3,000 in debt. That's fine, it's something that I can work off and pay. I don't want to add any more to it, so I'm having to sort of give myself some bigger gaps. That's really hard work, because I love vlogging. I love that real open, raw and honestness to the vlogs, and being away for 2 months is quite difficult for me as a person, but I have been extremely lucky. So during these 2 months break, as you've seen on the channel, it has been absolutely mad. The Patreon meet was humbling, amazing, and to be around people that love exactly what the Helmet channel was about, it touches the soul. It was absolutely fantastic, and to know that there's over 40 people that pay into Patreon and channel members that help fund this channel, help support me. They buy stickers, they buy t-shirts. I know many people do, but these people do it every single month, and do you know what? It's so cool to hang out with them. So that was awesome. We did basically, it was a 2-night camping, or you could just come that day. When we went to Wales, we did a tour. It was toured by a guy called Mike and his partner Neon, and they did a fantastic job. They had stickers made that's on my Panya over there. They just did a fantastic job, and it was just absolutely incredible. And then obviously what's been going on massively at the minute is that I've been being reached out by company after company after company after company. So we've had review after review after review, and trying to make them as professional as possible, but with the Helmet Head 11 out of 10 way to it. It's been really cool. I mean, there's a lot of kit. A lot of people go, oh, you've been given all this free kit and it's all fantastic. Anybody that knows with regards to filming and making videos, it's a lot of work. I love it. It's a passion, but there is absolutely a lot of work. But I've been love making that. So I think we're going to be, before I go, we would have had 5 reviews in a row. What's lovely, because it's credit again to the Helmet Head channel and the way that we do it. Now, I want to point out, and I've said it before, but a lot of people don't believe you. I've been reached out by quite a few more brands than that. I don't know if this is the time of year, well, I'm guessing it is, that everything's being released and launched and brands are marketing, but I'm reached out by quite a few, and I say no to quite a lot. And even some stuff I get, even today, I just go, I can't put it out to my audience, because if I don't want to put something out if I'm not going to recommend it. And everything has its ups and downs. Nothing's perfect. I think it's worth putting it out there, but if it does what it says on the tin and it works, and I go, actually, either for the money it's impressive, or for what it's designed to do is impressive, then it's worth going out. And I try and keep it very much bike related. I was extremely lucky to get the recent electric folding bike. That was really, really cool. And I was like, when they even emailed me, I was like, well, I'm a motorcycle channel, but I'm happy to do something a bit different. And they wanted me to review that. And that would probably never get big views or anything like that, because again, this channel is very much motorcycle related, but I had a good giggle doing something a little bit different, if I'm honest. And I found it quite funny, me pedalling around on a push bike. And the thing of it is, there was no real exercise involved. I felt like I'd done nothing, because when it had a throttle and it was pedal assist, so I'd pedal for a bit and then I'd just throttle it the rest of the way. I had a good laugh making that. So the channel's been so amazed with reviews, and I think it's a compliment to me, basically. It was probably massively big-headed to say, but so many awesome brands are loving it. Now, part of the recent comms that we did, the H2s for example, Moman, what a lovely brand. They've emailed me. They used my video as part of an ad campaign as well, because they were so impressed, and they went second in motorcycle comm sales on Amazon during Prime Day. Another massive, pat on the back, the hard work put into the channel, and it was nice to work with them, and obviously I've worked with them again since. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But what a few months. And the other side, I keep saying I hate when I say but the other side of it is that obviously I get a lot of emails, what's absolutely lovely to get so many people are requesting to go out riding and inviting me to go and do sort of camping trips with them and stuff. It's lovely. I love the point that people want to reach out. My world adventure has always been the same. Anybody wants to come and join me, fly out, hire a bike, join me like Paul has done, and Lee and everyone else. Anyone's welcome to come and join me. I will say I film it and do it my way. You can't sort of come out and go, oh, we're going to go and do this, because it sounds bad, but I'm there to film it in my style, the way I do it. But you are welcome to come and join me and ride with me and be part of that world adventure. When it comes down to the UK currently this year, the channel itself, and this is going to sound crazy, but I am, in regards to filming time, and I have to dedicate, because I'm doing a full-time job, when I can, I'm trying to grab as much overtime as I possibly can to fund the world trip, unless I get a big sponsor that I believe in, that believes in me, and we can work together, or even a few sponsors or a few companies. Again, for that to happen, it has to be I believe in their product, they believe in my channel, and we just gel and work together. Then I'd take that, would pay for the world trip. But at the moment, I am trying to fund it myself. So as soon as I can get overtime, I'll be working my butt off to pay back money I owe and fund the rest of the adventure. I don't know where I'm going with this now. My brain's gone. Whew. Anyway, so that's the point of that. Is like trying to fund that is difficult. So that's my time. Is that was what I was going with my time. My time is very much that. I do have set days and time to film. That's pretty much booked up for this year at least, and it has been for a little while. So I apologise to so many people that are asking to do things and inviting me to do things. If I could fit things in, I generally would. There is opportunity, hopefully very soon. I'm just waiting for update in regards to the Helmet Head Festival. That may still happen. It's one of these, I don't know, because the timescale is really starting to drop off, and I want people to have enough time to be able to book and come to the Helmet Head Festival. That might end up being next year. That would be gutting. I might try and do something else in September if we don't make that happen, because I have given that basically that day up for filming, but we'll see. But like I said, I apologise for people that are desperately wanting to do stuff with me. The channel's growing bigger and bigger and bigger, so it's going to end up being very much more event based in regards to there'll be a patron meet, at least one a year. If there's no Helmet Head Festival, potentially there'll be a subscriber style meet that will make into something like that. It's kind of the way that it's going. Now, there is people that I do work with. People will turn around and say, so if you've recently not seen the Works channel, I've recently featured a video on there. Joe, the Works guy, supported my channel. He's become a patron. I think as a YouTuber, becoming a patron supporter is quite a big deal. It's quite a lot of going, I really believe in what this person does and I want to help them. That's amazing by itself. But what he's done is he's taken my drone away and he's trying to fix it. And I have one of these things where I try and look after people that look after me. So for I really want his channel to succeed and do better and better. So I've gone and recently and done a video on his channel just for him. You can only see it on his channel. Please go and check it out and subscribe to the Works. But that's another example that we were looking at dates, and I said I might be able to get you a weekend day potentially in September, but I don't know. This was obviously weeks and weeks have gone by. I said I've got one day in the week I can do this, knowing that I'd lost my overtime, and he took time off of work, off of his own job, for us to go and film that, for example. So that's how crazy busy it is. I'm making myself sound massively big-headed here, but I just want to be open and honest, because I am fully booked. It is absolutely mental, but I love the support, and it's kind of, that's how nuts everything is at the minute. It's fantastic. It is. It's a good place to be. It's good to be so busy and so full on at the minute. This is my dream, is to be being a YouTuber and being a content creator full time, vlogging full time. And that's where I want to get to. I want to build up, not obviously the podcast is going to hopefully keep building as well. People are going to keep subscribing to this. That will monetize, that will help fund towards the world trip. The main channel will keep going and keep having these little explosions of growth, and that will keep growing, and that will hopefully completely fund the world trip. Because what part of taking the 2 months off is to try and take as much money as I can from everything and put them into a pot to be able to pay for the next leg. I haven't got enough currently to pay for this coming Gibraltar trip, but at least I've got most of it sorted, I reckon. So it might be a bit of a budget trip coming up, but that's the goals, as you could imagine. Like I said, podcast is open and raw. That's what I wanted to make this a little bit about. But I'm hoping, I always said the 5-year plan, but I'm really hoping within 3 years we can make this go. I can go full time and I can then travel the world, trips and stuff for longer, maybe go for a couple of weeks at a time, do massive chunks of filming, come back, spend a couple of months with my family, with bits of videos going on in regards to press, reviews and stuff like this, then go back and do a massive chunk. What I'm going to need to tackle some countries. Now this is the other thing about the world trip. I am only planning 1 to 2 legs in advance. I am well aware there is some countries that are not going to probably let my bike stay for periods of time, hence why I need to get through them quicker, or at least through and out and in again if I'm going to leave my bike in different places. I know all that stuff's coming up. I know all of that, but I'm planning a few weeks in advance. I also know there's some potentially countries where I might not even be able to get the bike into, and you might have to go into deep storage for a few months. Why I fly out higher to tackle that country, because I want to try and do the entire world as much as I'm allowed into those countries to do it. And we all know other countries we can't get into at the minute, but hopefully in the future we will. So that's how that's panning out as well. It's boof. But I absolutely love it. So what I'm going to do, because I'm going to keep going on and going on and going on, this podcast could go on for absolutely ever, I'm going to leave it there. Drop us a comment with something you'd like to discuss in regards to the podcast. Would you like me to interview a special guest, see if I can get them on board? If you want to know more about, say, the world trip, if you want to know about the kit, because that's forever changing on part of my world trip with the stuff I'm having to pack and take out with me, let me know. I've got some incredible people as well, but I'm saving this for the main channel, potentially episode 1 or episode 2 of the Long Way to Gibraltar series coming out. I've been sent some really cool stuff. This isn't by companies, these are by people that support the channel to help me along my way. What's, again, massively emotionally touching, because it's stuff that I needed, but it's stuff I've been putting off because of cost. It's more cost, but I will show you, and it's proper cool. What's being sent to me, especially at the moment from 2 different people, has been incredible. But I'm going to save it for that channel. Anyway, like I said, drop what you'd like to see coming up in the podcast. If I get any upcoming news, I will of course let you know. Any bike releases, press stuff sent to me. A lot of stuff is sent to me is like the warranty's now this and we're doing this, what's just boring. If I get any really cool stuff, quickly, if you didn't know, the price for the Triumph 400 is 5,500. I did a podcast on that last week. They're saying it's like the baby Bonneville, but it's not. To me it's not a Bonneville, but the Triumph 400, they've got the Scrambler, etc. That's 5,500 quid. That's what I've been told the price is. So there's a right drop there. I should have saved that for its own podcast, but there you go, you've got it. Like I said, let me know and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Hope you've enjoyed this podcast. Very raw, and I'm going to keep it massively raw, not going to put loads of stuff on it. And if you enjoyed this as well, being raw, please let me know, and I'll do more plain speaking, raw honesty right here on the Helmet Head podcast. Take care. Bye bye for now.